Hi, just wanted to do a quick intro for this video. So the B-roll of the bookshelves and bookshops that that are in this, I went to with a friend of mine, and I just thought it'd be nice to pop these in. Thanks. Hope you enjoy the video. Hello, hi, welcome back. So this is my second video after my newbie booktuber tag that I did. So hello, it's been a while. Some things have happened and stuff. So I just wanted to kind of talk about all the books that I have read recently, have hauled recently, and are currently reading, sorry. So we're kind of going to get into that. So we'll start with the books that I have read recently. So first is The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter. And a friend of mine recommended me this, and I bought it, I think, a year ago with her. And it was interesting. I mean, it's classics. I think the really cool thing for me was, like, in The Bloody Chamber itself, because there's short stories in this as well, is that her mother literally comes in and saves her. Spoilers, but I mean, this is a vintage classic. So yeah, I thought it would kick off sort of the autumny spooky season that we've got going on at the moment. So yeah, I read that and enjoyed. I don't know if I will keep it, because I am someone who will pretty much unhaul books as they read, because I don't think that I'll read it again. Some of them are quite, I say that, but some of them are quite like, I guess that some of them are sentimental, so I wouldn't necessarily like get rid of them. But some of them I've read like that, I'm not particularly bothered necessarily, because I have gotten a lot better at getting rid of books. Speaking of, I got this from a charity shop, so it's technically one I hauled recently. It's Wendy Cope, Serious Concerns. And the first poem is pretty, so it's poetry, sorry. It's pretty interesting. I mean, the first poem, I'll leave it there for you, was pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, there were some good poems in here. Some of them were just kind of like, okay, cool. But it's not one that I probably will keep. But if you're interested, I would recommend it, like, in case you're looking to find some other poetry and stuff. Specifically, like, women's poetry. But yeah, I saw the reviews for this and it was also good, but I just picked it up from a charity shop because I was like, well, it might be good. Something to cleanse my palate, because I've been sort of in a slump, basically. So and then the next one is The Great White Bard, How to Love Shakespeare While Talking About Race by Karim-Cooper. This was I was actually in this talk with this author at a festival, and I loved the topic of Shakespeare. I think it was like a 3-part thing of Shakespeare that they were talking about, essentially. And as someone who works in theatre and has studied Shakespeare, it was a book that I really wanted to get to kind of, well, not quite soon, because this was a few years ago, but I waited for it to come back in paperback. And as you can see, so I tab my books very much so, and all of this was very interesting. She specifically goes through different plays, so obviously like Othello and Merchant of Venice she talks about, but also Hamlet and Macbeth, the Scottish play. It's always hard to say that when you're in a, like, used to working in a theatre and not saying that. The Scottish play. And yeah, she talks about different ones, Midsummer Night's Dream, stuff like that. So, and it is about sort of teaching it, and I very much resonated with a lot of this, and it was really interesting to read a lot about the language as well that is used, and the time period in which that Shakespeare wrote his plays in, and what significance and meaning it could mean, or it could mean something else, and not to necessarily view it by our standards today. But as someone who's very interested in social activism and I guess like books to do with race and history and things like that. Something like this was really up my alley, and I highly recommend if anyone is sort of a Shakespeare fan or interested in anything to do with him or sort of the history in which he wrote things in. Also love the pictures in this are very interesting. Oh, Tempest, of course. Tempest was a very significant one to do with colonialism. So if you're interested in like history, the empire, colonialism, you know, it's all very relevant in terms of today, but to give like a really insightful look into, you know, Shakespeare writing about race and talking about race and what it could mean and not mean, and also about staging, because I've seen quite a few plays that are like blind casted or you know, where gender bent and stuff, which are really interesting. Like A Midsummer Night's Dream I saw at the Globe, I think in 2020 or 2019, it might have been 2019, was so good. The whole cast was essentially female, except Puck, the main Puck, and Oberon, who had this amazing costume, and the famous line of "I'm invisible" was fantastic. So yes, I very much recommend this if you are looking to read about that or very interested in Shakespeare and stuff like that. Highly recommend. And the final book I'm going to talk about are books I've read is The Spellshop by Sarah Beth Durst. And one, look at this cover. It's stunning. It's beautiful. If you're looking for a cozy fantasy, this isn't like autumnally cozy. This is a fantasy, I guess a seaside kind of island fantasy, but not like, it's fantastical in the way that it has creatures from like centaurs to a kind of, if you think about Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle, I have a Calcifer here that I made, but a spider plant essentially, but quite sassy, and we follow a librarian who flees from the sort of main kingdom back to her island and starts making jam. But she's not, you know, magical or anything, but she starts to embroil herself in terms of the people she meets, the lovely people in the village that she meets, and the mer shepherd, I think he is. So he's like a shepherd of mer horses. I can't even speak. And she's very much, I'm not going to speak to anyone, I don't want to talk to anyone, but I want to succeed. It very much recognises a lot of modern day sort of modern day sort of feelings of like wanting to pursue things and wanting to do things all by yourself, but actually having a community around you is actually so important. It's cozy, it's whimsical. I just loved this. I have the second book, which I will talk about as I hauled it recently. And there is a third book coming out as well. I think they're set in the same world, but not the same character. Like, it's different characters in the same world. So it's not like a series, like a trilogy or something. It's just books set in the same world. But highly recommend if you're looking for a cozy fantasy, easy read kind of thing to like make you feel warm inside. Definitely this book. Now we're going to talk about the books that I have hauled recently. I also wanted to mention this is Scully. This is the part of the Halloween Jellycat collection. I collect Jellycats, not a lot of them, but I have accumulated quite a few over the past year and a half. But he is part of the Halloween collection, and my lovely mum bought me him. So he is a collection for the bookshelf, which you're getting kind of a sneak peek of things in it. But yes, I will do probably a video on that very soon. So I want to talk about the books I've got recently. So the Gingerbread Bakery by Laurie Gilmore, which is part of the it's the Pumpkin Spice Cafe kind of books. They're set in the same town. This is the fourth fifth book. Pumpkin Spice Cafe, Cinnamon Bun Store. Oh, I actually don't know how many she's done. She's done, no, Christmas Tree Farm, Strawberry Patch Pancake. There is going to be a sixth. This is the fifth book. I'm very excited to read this because it's Annie and Mac's story. So I will hopefully read this maybe in December, but I'm very excited to read this. I will save that one for in a bit. I then got Before We Forget Kindness by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. This is the fifth book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I always say it wrong. Before the Coffee Goes Cold is usually how I say it, but it's Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I want to do a separate video about this series because I have read all of them except this one, and I think there will be another one. I do just want to mention that the first, I have met him, and he is such a lovely man, and he is so funny. He's got a real sort of like twinkle in his eye in terms of like humour. Really nice, really lovely. He signed my first book, and I wrote a message in it, like in a sticky note for him to sign. I wrote it in Japanese because I had studied Japanese and somewhat speak it. And yes, the first book was initially made as a play. I'm going to go too much into it, but I'm really excited about it because it's one of my favourite books ever. And it is like a warm hug, but it's bittersweet, I would definitely say. So I'm very excited to read this. I've waited for it to come out on paperback because I will have all of them in paperback. But yes, I'm very excited to get to this, hopefully maybe next month, if not in November. But yes, I'm very excited. Then I got Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I got this in a charity shop, and I've never read it. I have read some of Sense and Sensibility when I had to study it. I did not read all of it, unfortunately. I've read Persuasion and Pride and Prejudice because I love the 1995 Pride and Prejudice and the Sally Hawkins and Rupert Penry Jones Persuasion. You can thank my mother for that one. So I'm excited to read a bit more of hers. I do own Emma as well because I do love the film with Bill Nye and Anya Joy Taylor. I'm so sorry. Love her though, but the casting in that is fantastic. And Mia Goth as well. And Miranda Hart. Love. I just love that film. It is very much theatrical in the way that I love. But yeah, so I'm kind of excited to add another Jane Austen to my collection, essentially. Then we have Direbound by Sable Sorensen. I'm so sorry if I've said that incorrectly. This is the beautiful Waterstones exclusive edition that I ordered. Oh wow, this is so oh my, sorry, that was so high pitched, but hello, there's a big wolf there. I do love wolves. I'm a big wolf fan. I have been recently doing this a lot more where I will download a sample of the book to read if I'm interested in it, to read the first chapter and see how I like the writing. And I did that with this, and I was like, yep, immediate purchase. Like it is just stunning as well. So I'm very excited. I know that this has been kind of well hyped, so I'm just kind of excited to see and get back into like a werewolfy kind of book or series that it will be. And then the last book is The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. Oh, sorry, I've got glue on it still from the sticker when they say like when it was like £3 off. But I did have a £10 saved up, so it was a lot less as well. So we love that. I'm very excited to read this. This doesn't follow, as I said, this follows two different characters. It follows the sorcerer who created Kaz, who is the anthropomorphic is that the right word? Basically the cactus plant that is now alive. She, for her crimes for making him, which is it's such a sad thing, she made him because she was lonely. And that really resonated with me, very much so. So she was punished for that. She was turned into a wooden statue, I believe. And she ends up in a magical greenhouse. And I think it's like a grumpy gardener kind of situation. But just look again. Oh, sorry, there's a book in the way. Let me just move that. Look at this. It is so stunning. Like, and the wing cat will feature, and they were in the first book as well, and I loved that. I'm very excited to read this. I don't know when I will get to this because I have quite a few books on my TBR, but we won't talk about that too much because Scully can sit there. The books that I am currently reading, and this was one that I hauled recently as well. This is Hekate. I think that's how you say it. I am a Greek mythology girly, but like, I don't remember how to say it. And people do say it differently. This is by Nikita Gill. If you don't know, love Nikita Gill. I have pretty much all her poetry. There's like a few I don't own, but she wrote Great Goddesses, Fierce Fairy Tales, and Where Hope Comes From, which was written during the pandemic, and I've met her and she is wonderful. I love her. Like, one of basically my favorite poet. She is a poet and she is just, what she writes is beautiful. So when I found out that she was writing this, I was like, yes, please give it to me. And sorry, I have tabbed, I do cut my tabs down, but the beautiful sprayed edges and the foxes in there as well. There's nothing on the dust jacket, but I put the dust jacket, sorry, on the front cover. I put the dust jacket back on because I don't read books with the dust jacket on at all. I'm about 70 pages in. We are kind of introduced to her and her mother, Asteria? Excuse me, Asteria? Yes. Also, I love, it's beautiful. It's a stunning book. We're following Hekate as she is a young godling, and her mother is fleeing from the gods because she is a titan. I'm very fuzzy on this, so please excuse my ignorance on it. But essentially her mother has sacrificed herself and become an island and left Hekate with in the underworld to hide from Zeus and Poseidon, who are pursuing them. So there's a lot of beautiful language that she uses, and I have tabbed quite a few that are very relevant. And I mean, a lot of this is very relevant to conversations at the moment, and it's so poignant, it's so beautiful. And I'm only 70 pages in, and she's got, like, you know, she's having to choose what she wants to do as a goddess and things. So I'm very excited to carry on with this, and I'm hopefully going to finish it this month. I only started it yesterday or the day before, and I've been really enjoying it. I also really enjoy reading them aloud because it's poetry. A lot of poetry is to be read aloud, and it's beautiful. I love it. So definitely recommend if you are looking to read some more poetry. I don't predominantly read poetry. I've just been reading it a lot at the moment just because I felt that I've been in quite a slump, both in my life and like with work stuff and things, but also just with reading because I haven't had the motivation to read. I am on 43 books this year, and my aim is 58 every year. So I'm really trying to get through as many as possible because I have quite a few that are actually physical TBRs. But yes. So the next book is, you can't see it because it's in just jacket, but it is Rewitched. Who is this by? Lucy Jane Wood. And this is the special Waterstones edition that a lovely friend of mine, who's also a booktuber on here, got me for Christmas last year, and she has read it and she said it was fine. I loved the first chapter, really liked it. I am 56 pages in and I am kind of like, yeah, it's okay. Like, I've read a lot of reviews and sometimes that is just not the one to do because it will affect your perception of stuff. But I will carry on with it because it's kind of sweet, and you know, this is about a witch who, there's a theme here, can you see that? Witches. I do like reading about witches, to be honest. She's a witch who basically lives as a non-witch. She still has powers and everything, but it comes to her 30th birthday, and she basically is called to the coven to go through a set of trials to make sure that if she is using her powers, and essentially if she's not using them in the like right way or something, then they will strip her of her powers. That's the gist I'm getting so far. Someone commented, reviewed it being basically saying like, oh well, the love interest came in too late and stuff like that. So I'm kind of going in it with like but an open mind, and I would like to finish it this month, so hopefully we can get those done. Now the final book I want to talk about is one that I am kind of buddy reading with a friend of mine. She has a bookstore account and stuff, I'll leave it below and things, but I love her with all my heart, and we are buddy reading When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. So I have been reading this copy and tabbing it. I'm about 175 pages in, and I bought this copy while we went to we went to Bath and had a bookish day together basically, which was really nice. So I have been tabbing and annotating in this for her, so that we will basically swap copies and stuff. So yeah, it's a really nice thing. I've never done it before. We've talked about it for a long time to do it, and we picked this book because we both had it. Well, she bought a copy, but she really wanted to read it, and so far, like, it's fine. I don't think it's like the best thing since sliced bread. That's such a, oh my god, that's such a British saying to be saying. But I think it's enjoyable. It's quite slow and fast at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I am enjoying it. But I think I just need to read chunks of it and then I can annotate and stuff. But we are here for the bloodthirsty. We are here for revenge. He literally asks her, like, what you want out of life. Revenge. And it's kind of like, I'm kind of here for that. But also, like, I'm not reaching for it. Again, I just think I'm in a massive slump with stuff, and I'm trying to read things that aren't necessarily fantasy, like, because a lot of series now are becoming, well, a lot of books are now like standalone books are now becoming like 6-book series, and I'm not here for that. Like, I just would like to read a trilogy, or a standalone would be fine for me. But you know, taste change and everything, but here we are. So yes, that is essentially it. That's all the things that I have read recently, hauled recently, and am currently reading and would hope to finish. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one, but thank you so much if you're coming back to view this, and if you like it, then give it a thumbs up for me. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely day, whatever you're doing, and yeah, let me know your thoughts on some of the books down below. Bye.